So my name is LaPosta. I have pizzeria Artigianale LaPosta in Newton, Massachusetts, about 10 minutes outside of Boston. And then more recently in the last year, I opened a second location called Luca in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Fantastic. How far apart are those two places?
They're about an hour and a half.
Is that challenging for you as an operator?
A little bit. Yeah, I live right in the middle.
Okay.
So it's about, finding good teams and being able to work with both of them. So I can say we're super lucky. We have great teams in both locations. So I'm able to go back and forth between both and just, work with the teams, whether it's in the kitchen or in the front of the house.
Fantastic. A lot of people are interested in opening a second pizzeria. Did you take any of your star team members from your first spot to help open the second one?
Initially we did, a manager, but most of the team stayed at LaPosta, and we found a strong team in the Portsmouth area. So Portsmouth has a really strong culinary scene. So there was a lot of good cooks, a lot of good hospitality people that live there and work there.
Ooh, is that what drew you to that area, that they had such a strong food scene?
It's a beautiful town. It's like picturesque coastal New England. And they do have a strong food scene, and they have a strong tourism scene. So I moved to New Hampshire. My business partner moved to New Hampshire, and that's what drew us to the Portsmouth area.
Got it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they want to open up their second pizzeria, it's the same concept, it's the same name. What made you decide to go a little bit different direction?
I think one of the reasons was, learning from the first. And LaPosta is a special place and kind of, in my opinion, individual location. And we do our artisan wood-fired pizzas there, and we have a menu of like homemade pastas and apps and gelato and things like that. But I think the location in Portsmouth just had a different feel. It's going to be a newer build-out. I would say a little bit more upscale. So we wanted it to really the reason we called it Luca, one of the reasons was we wanted to have, that old school rustic Italian feel. And I just felt like Luca made more sense from a brand standpoint than LaPosta in that area.
Interesting.
But the concepts are just slightly different, but a lot of similarities as well.
Could you tell me how they're a little different when it comes to the pizza?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do the same wood-fired pizza at both locations, which we use the term artisan pizza artigianale. My background is strictly wood-fired Neapolitan pizza, living and working in Italy. But over the years, we've worked with companies like Central Milling to develop our own pizza flour. I love the Bianco di Napoli organic California tomatoes. So we try to stay closer to home as far as sourcing goes. And our ingredients, I guess, wouldn't allow us to call us to call ourselves an official STG pizza, if you will. But we do our artisan style Neapolitan pizza at both locations, and then in Portsmouth we also offer pizza Taglio, which is Roman style pizza by the slice. We do it pan pizza and offer by the slice as well there. So that's the biggest variation with the pizzas is we offer Roman style and wood fired in Portsmouth and just wood fired in Newton.
I've definitely noticed a real uptick in the number of Roman-style pizza places. Do you think that is kind of an up-and-comer like maybe Detroit was 10 years ago? I
mean, I think, there's more and more people doing it right. I definitely think stateside there's a large misconception by pizza makers about what Roman pizza is, and I don't think it's being done right totally. But it's definitely growing, and there's more and more operators and pizzaiolos that are starting to do it the right way. I'm not convinced it's something that's going to catch stateside. I think from a slice perspective, people want that New York style slice. I think you may see people use the term grandma or pan pizza as opposed to pizza Taglio, which is the traditional Roman, but follow the Roman standards, I guess. Just from a marketing standpoint, it's a lot easier to sell. I think, the American consumer doesn't totally understand what pizza Taglio is, which means pizza by the slice.
Got it.
Yeah.
And did you learn how to make this pizza in Rome?
So I lived in Rome. I lived closer to Naples for a little bit under a year, and I did not learn how to make it there, but I was always, so when I lived and worked in Italy, the pizza makers refused to show me how to make their dough because they said, if we teach you, you're going to be making our dough. You have to learn your own way. So both pizzas were really a long journey, I would say, over the Neapolitan, like a 10, 15 year period to get it to where I wanted it to be. And then the Roman, honestly, it was always something I loved. And when COVID happened and I was in this stagnant stage of not having a restaurant, there was a lot of practice at home with the Roman. And the Roman works really well with sourdough pizza because you want it to be very high hydration. And the sourdough, with all the structure and longevity possibility with the fermentation, the Roman just works so well with the sourdough.
I was really intrigued when you mentioned working on your own custom flour blend.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably assume, I have to have 200 shops before someone's going to want to work with me on a custom flour blend.
Yeah.
How did you go about that process?
Yeah. So a food rep from Chef's Warehouse reached out and said, "Hey, Mario, you have to try central milling. I'm going to put you in touch with the owner. He's a very passionate guy." And so he did. He sent me Keith Justo's number, who was the owner of Central Milling for a long time, no longer. And he had Keith Justo Distribution Supply out of Petaluma, California. And I was on the phone for about 5 hours with Keith, literally, the first time I talked to him. My wife's like, "Who the hell are you on the phone with?" I'm like, "It's this crazy flour dough guy who's like a master baker, and he's telling me all about this flour." So I was in Boston. So we spent about 9-10 months. He was sending me different types of flour, and then I was learning about the flour at the same time and looking for. I had an idea in my mind what I was looking for the dough. So after about 6-7 months, I had a blend. I was hand mixing at the restaurant 5 different types of central milling flour, 20% of this, 10% of this, 15% of that. And Keith said, "We'll come out to my baking center and we'll bake." So I went out there, and he really loved the blend. And Central Milling started at the mill in Utah. They started milling it for me and bagging it. And yeah, we have our own flour called Farina de LaPosta. So
wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what fresh flour was. I mean, I thought I knew what I was doing with dough, but I didn't. But we've had cases where, 2 weeks from the mill to the restaurant, that's how fresh the flour is. And it makes such a difference. And, the protein and the quality of the flour and the blend of the flour, whether you love her or hate my pizza, I feel like my pizza is very unique because it's mine, whether it's the flour or the way I make the dough. So it's something I'm really proud of, and shout out to Keith Justo because he's a pioneer when it comes to flour and taught me about sourdough. And, I love Central Milling, and, for me, they're the best out there.
What is your dough making process?
So when I was out in California, I learned about sourdough, and over a lot of trial and error, I started to understand it. So we have a 9-year-old sourdough starter right now. We call it the mother, and then every day we feed that mother, and then I make a liquid levain, so it's a liquid starter for the base of our dough the next morning. About 20-25% of that starter goes into the dough every single day. We never use any yeast. It's always 100% naturally leavened, whole wheat organic flour. For our Neapolitan dough, we usually like to do an 8 to 12 hour direct rise, never in the refrigerator. And then for our focaccias or our Roman, it's usually about a 24 to 48 hour rise. And very high in hydration, like I said, close to 80% hydration, which, some people think they'll go lower hydration or cook the pizza crispier or long fermentation will lead to a lighter dough. Yes, there's some truth to that, but in my opinion, hydration is really the key to a light dough because the less flour you have in your dough, obviously the lighter it's going to be. So, yeah, and then the other thing that's incredible with sourdough is you don't have to use a lot of salt because you're not looking for flavor. We have organic, whole wheat flour, and we have this incredible starter that's the base of everything. So you don't need a lot of salt to enhance the flavor. So our salt content in our dough is under 3%, which is considered pretty low. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. You competed in a category this morning at the International Pizza Challenge. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It's a new category for this show.
Yeah. So that's the Pizza Classica. I've actually competed in Italy in Parma at the World Pizza Championships in that category previously. So it's a Neapolitan style dough with any topping on top. So you have to have at least one topping. And I think it's great because for me, the Neapolitan way of making dough is the original way, and I think the most truly artisan way to make pizza. And to be able to showcase, creative toppings outside of the margherita or the marinara is really great. So, even I was next to a competitor from Italy, and she had a dough that was had beets in it.
Wow.
And had tuna gold flakes. So it's just cool to see stuff like that. So I think it really opens up the doors for people to get really creative. So I love it.
That certainly is. Was it pink?
What's that?
Was the dough kind of pink?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then I made a pizza with homemade fennel sausage and buffalo mozzarella and something called bagna cauda, which is slowly roasted garlic, anchovy, and olive oil. And becomes like candy over the course of a few hours. Drizzle that on top. Pizza had some escarole on it. So
amazing. And can you tell me at all about your pizza tomorrow? By the time anyone hears this, it will be
that's fine.
Already over.
Yeah, so I made the dough this morning. I was very happy with it. I wasn't thrilled with the dough yesterday. So I'm really pleased with the way it came out. We're going to be doing the original margherita, traditional margherita. So I'm going to do a blend of mozzarella di bufala from Italy and Caputo Brothers Creamery out of Pennsylvania. The best mozzarella stateside that I've ever had. I love it. I would go either that or Grande, but I'm using Caputo Brothers Creamery. It's just an incredible product, artisan made in Pennsylvania. And then we're going to use the organic Bianco di Napoli tomatoes, just crushed by hand with a little sea salt, a little basil, and some pecorino parmigiano. It's going to be very simple. I think I'll have a good chance, hopefully.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to, you said that you took some of the lessons you learned from your first restaurant and applied them to the second. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me some examples of learnings that you've had along the way?
Yeah. So, my background, the company that I worked for previously, which was for Mario Batali and Joe Bastianich, I opened 4 restaurants with them. And my chef mentor there, Andy Nusser, who's an incredible chef and friend, he owns Casamono in New York City. So I just learned a lot from him. And over the 12 years, opening 4 restaurants, working with Andy, thinking, you're ready to do this on your own. And I was essentially like the director of operations. So I was running P&Ls, I was managing menus, working with the front of the house. So I said, this is the right time, I'm ready. And I did it. And you're not ready. No matter what, in my opinion, no matter what, there's always a learning curve when you become your own business owner. Sure. Whether it be understanding how much work goes into the back end of the business from an admin side, whether that's setting up payroll and paying its taxes, all the admin work that goes in, all the organization that's needed to really be successful, the structure that you need. When I opened, I thought I could be the chef owner, hire a manager, and here we go, we're off to the races. But you learn quickly that it's very difficult to manage your time when you have to be in 1,000 places at once. So, and then that leads to shortfalls in the business, whether that be financially or through quality, through consistency with food and service. So when we opened Mama Luca, a big goal was to make sure that we were structured properly. We had the right team in place. We did it in a little bit of a slower way. So I think just being more prepared and having the right pieces and people in place to make sure that things don't, fall by the wayside in business. And still only 4.5 years in with 2 restaurants, you're learning every day and you're becoming more organized and finding ways to do things better.
Excellent. If you were going to give a piece of advice to someone who's looking to open their second restaurant, what would that be?
I would say the biggest thing is to make sure that you're financially sound and you have good support, whether that be through financial investors or a bank, whatever it may be. Just make sure that you're ready to support your business long term, not just for the first few months that you're opening, because challenges are going to come up, costs are going to come up, and you really want to be ready for that. And then the second thing, off what I just said, is making sure that you take the time to have the right pieces in place and people have defined roles. Whether just because you're the chef owner doesn't mean that you have to do everything. Find people you trust and make sure they're executing things like you want them to. And I think that'll lead to long-term success.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was really fun.
Are you looking for smarter ways to improve consistency, efficiency, and bake quality in your pizza operation? Spokane Valley, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for commercial pizzerias and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pan's durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Going beyond pizza? Visit LloydPans.com to explore our lineup of food service and bakeware pans and accessories. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@LloydPans.com for personalized service. Are you looking to get your brand in front of passionate pizza pros? Well, you've come to the right place. The Hot Slice Podcast, brought to you by Pizza Today. We're all about everything pizza business. Each week, we dive into fun conversations about trends, tasty tips, and insider stories from the pizza world. Our listeners are engaged and eager to discover what's new and improve their craft, with help from brands like you. Imagine your brand reaching pizzeria owners and pizza enthusiasts while they enjoy our laid-back chats. It's a perfect match. Whether you're selling equipment, ingredients, or anything that makes pizza better, our ad spots are designed to connect you with the right audience. So if you're ready to slice into something special, reach out to us about advertising on the Hot Slice Podcast. Let's share the love of pizza together.
Dario, welcome to the Hot Slice.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your pizzeria?
Sure. So we're called Bolocraft Pizza, and we're located in Swampscott, Massachusetts. We opened up in 2017. My parents opened in 2017. I was living in New York at the time. But we specialize in Detroit-style pizza. We also do New York style, but we're really known for the Detroit-style pizza.
Awesome. And you grew up in a pizzeria family, right?
Yes. So my family's been in the pizza business for 40 plus years at this point. We used to own another pizzeria called Romano's in Marblehead, Massachusetts, where we focus on the New York style, but I grew up around that. I remember being little and working cash register and stepping on the little safe box and doing the money and everything, and then working my way up when I got a little taller to make the pizzas in the place. So always been in the business and grew up around it.
You must be very trustworthy.
It depends on who you ask, but yeah, my mom trusts me for the most part, yes.
And it sounds like they really trusted you when you were the one who brought the Detroit-style pizza concept to your parents in the first place.
So after we sold the business, after a few years, my parents started getting the itch to get back into the business. I was working out in New York, and around 2016, I tasted Detroit-style pizza from a place called Emmy Squared in Williamsburg. I never tasted that pizza, that style before, and that got me really interested in saying, okay, does this exist in the Boston area? I did some research and I could not find a place that had or was focusing on Detroit-style pizza at the time. So I told my parents, I said, we need to bring Detroit-style to Massachusetts. And they looked into it, and I had reached out to, because we never did Detroit style, we were always New York. So I reached out to Sean Gandazzo, who was the 2012 winner at the Pizza Expo for his Detroit style. Unfortunately, he had passed, but we consulted with Sean at the time, and we ended up bringing some of the formulation back, doing some tweaks to it, but overall we brought Detroit style to the Boston Metro area.
Amazing. How was it trying to teach people about Detroit style? Did they understand it at first?
So that was a little bit challenging at the beginning because no one knew what Detroit style was. In fact, a lot of people would come in and be like, ask for Chicago style. I was like, no, it's not Chicago, it's Detroit. But we started off with 2 items on the menu, Detroit, specifically Detroit, which is the cheese and the pepperoni. And we had a bigger menu for the New York. And it started getting picked up. A lot of people were coming in and asking for this new style pizza that they never even heard of. and also some local newspapers and some online websites were reaching out saying, okay, we're doing this new style of pizza. And this was at 2017, so it was just as the trend of Detroit started picking up. And the more people started, learning about it and tasting it, it just kind of took off at that point. We got a lot of positive word of mouth, and we owe a lot to the customers for helping spread the word and getting it out.
Very cool. And now today, what % of your business would you say is from Detroit pizza?
I would say we're good about like 60% Detroit, 40% New York.
Cool.
Right now.
So the balance is kind of tipped.
Yeah, and it took a little while, but before it was 20, 25, 30, 40, and now we've tipped over to the Detroit style. And a lot more places I know in the Massachusetts area have opened up specifically on Detroit style. So obviously the trend has, at this point, gotten out that Detroit style is here to stay.
Excellent. You've had some recognition in the media, is that right?
Yes. So we got voted from Yelp in 2022 is the 34th place. Don't quote me on this fully. I know we recorded that. Top pizzeria in the United States and Canada, and then they did another. I believe there's another one in regards to the New England area. We also got recognized. We also get picked up by the Boston Globe quite a bit. Write local articles, and Boston Magazine wrote a little snippet on us as well, which was really nice. So we do get quite a bit from the trades about specifically like Detroit style.
Do you have any advice for how to make the most of those media mentions? Like, do you reshare them?
We do reshare a lot through our social platform. We use Instagram quite a bit. Which, if you're a pizzeria that doesn't use Instagram, I think you definitely should get on social and use Instagram at the very least. We do get a lot of people who come in from all over and do a lot of TikTok videos and things like that. So they do a lot of, type of word of mouth publicity. So we're fortunate enough that our customers come in and they love our pizza and they want to talk about the experience. And I think that's what's also important is making sure that every customer that comes in is treated exceptionally well. And I think that's just as important as the quality of the pizza that you're doing, right? So people will remember a good meal, but more so they'll remember an experience, right? So if someone gets treated poorly or is not treated like the priority or rightfully so, I go and I want to have a really great experience. That's important, and we want to make sure that every customer is treated well.
Since Yelp is kind of a review platform, and you're talking about customer experiences, do you respond to reviews?
We always thank our customers on Yelp, on the Yelp platform. I think Google has gotten so busy that it's hard to keep up sometimes. We try to do our best. Yelp, we always generally thank, and even we occasionally, sometimes you might have a customer who is not as fully satisfied, and we reach out and try to make it right to them. It's do what we can to make sure that, regardless of the experience, we try to make it right.
Fantastic. Do you hire outside people? Is it mostly family?
Family.
Okay.
Strictly family right now. We are looking to grow, and we are looking for another location. So if it gets to the point of too much, because this business is it's a hard business. The pizza business is very hard. We may source out outside help, but right now we're about to do all this stuff. It's all done through family.
As you're looking into a new location, what are some of your considerations?
Space. We're really small right now, so I think that's really important for us is getting enough space in the location. Because right now we have to get creative due to the limitations. We are running we do have a basement area, but our top area is about 500, 600 square feet between that. So it's not a lot of room to do everything we want to do. Plus we have 2 styles of pizza, 2 different types of sauces. So getting everything in a spot where we're comfortable fully, we're working towards that. And I think the second location will help whenever we do find it.
Excellent. And you opened the pizzeria in 2017. Post-pandemic, have you noticed a difference in real estate prices as far as the commercial real estate market goes? We just really started diving into it right now. Real estate in general, if you want to get into a hotspot area, it's going to cost you, anywhere from $50 a square foot to $100+ a square foot, wherever you go. So it's out there. We're in a small town, which
going to a place like Boston or Cambridge or Somerville, we're looking at a whole different dynamic, of prices wise, and even like audience, right? It's a different group of people that we're looking at. So in regard to real estate, though, the prices are higher. Again, this is going to be our second location, so it's still filling out the market and seeing what's out there. But it's different than a local Swampscott Marblehead town. It's definitely different.
Would you really focus still on the delivery and carry out?
So we just started after all these years delivery for lunch, just lunch, because we're at capacity during dinner time. So between 4 and 8 o'clock, because we're running a double deck oven, so we have one oven for New York and one oven for Detroit, different temperatures for different styles of pizza. So we're juggling a lot of this, and that's its own headache in itself. But could you repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering if you might add a sit-down element in your
delivery. We're talking about delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So basically, the delivery aspect, we just started the delivery with DoorDash actually for lunch. It's not something we do. We're just strictly takeout right now. Swampscott is going to open up. We have opened last year, and this is outdoor seating. So we'll have that for people who walk. The whole strip over there has it. But we have no seating as of now in our location, just smaller. It's only a couple feet walking in. We take the order and take out. But we will be doing the delivery for lunchtime just to add into the incremental revenue stream that we didn't have before.
As someone who just added this delivery element, how did you go about deciding on a third-party provider you wanted to work with versus doing it yourself?
I mean, doing yourself we did not want to add to more headaches. So doing it ourselves is an additional headache because you have to have a new employee, and it's just we did not want to deal with that at the moment. Choosing a vendor, it's trial and error, I think, and see what it is. And right now, we're testing out DoorDash. It's been pretty good. It's only been a few weeks now, so we'll see how it goes. But it's all kind of new to us in regard to delivery. We used to do delivery back in Marblehead, but that was just local to Marblehead. Swampscott is situated between Marblehead, Lynn, obviously Swampscott, and Salem. So we're dealing with multiple towns. We're kind of like in the center point, right? So having our own delivery guy makes it a little difficult. We don't want to do like a radius really. So we're just testing this lunch crowd to see how that goes. And I don't believe we're going to do dinner. It just adds. We just cannot handle what we do for delivery and. For dinner with delivery and the normal crowd that comes in and picks up at this point.
It sounds like really being at capacity for dinner right now, you are just right about to launch into that next level. Yeah,
and that's where we are right now. So that's why I'm like, okay, we are where we are right now. Let's look at a spot. Let's find the bigger spot so we can organize ourselves a little bit better. And then we'll see in regard to delivery with the second location. Do we want to expand it full day? Chances are we probably will. But I think this location with delivery with DoorDash and potentially another provider gives us time to kind of feel it out and see how it performs on in the lunch time.
Well, congratulations on bringing your business up to this next level. You're about to take a leap, and it was really a pleasure chatting with you.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.